More than 20 tractors rolled into Westminster at dawn, blocking roads, halting buses, and flooding central London with the roar of engines. This wasn't a parade. It wasn't a stunt. It was a rebellion. A rebellion sparked by a single policy. A 20% inheritance tax on farms and agricultural businesses, worth more than £1 million a tax, farmers say will destroy family farms, force land to be sold, and wipe out entire rural communities overnight. The Metropolitan Police banned tractors from entering the city. Farmers ignored it. They came anyway, parking right outside Parliament, holding signs reading, "How dare you? You've ruined the countryside. We're here to fight for our future." More than 500 farmers gathered near Downing Street, booing when Rachel Reeves appeared. Traffic froze, police fell back, and the UK government faced something it didn't expect on Budget Day: the collapse of trust from the very people who feed the country. This isn't a protest about tax, it's a warning about survival. Let me show you what really happened on Budget Day. The Metropolitan Police issued a clear order the night before: no tractors anywhere near Westminster. They warned of serious disruption, activated public order measures, and prepared barriers across Whitehall. And yet, at sunrise, the tractors arrived. Not one, not two. More than 20 heavy machines rolled into the Capitol, engines thundering, tires grinding across Westminster Bridge, cutting straight through the morning commute. Police tried to divert them. Farmers ignored them. Within minutes, the roads around Parliament were gridlocked, buses stalled, cyclists trapped, traffic at a standstill as the machines parked side by side like armoured vehicles taking position. Some tractors carried banners. "Fools vote Labour." Others displayed the now iconic message aimed at the Chancellor. "How dare you?" Crowds gathered. Phones filmed everything. Officers stood by, visibly unsure whether to intervene or step back. The ban had failed, and the government knew it. Because this wasn't just a breach of an order. It was a symbolic strike, a demonstration that rural Britain was willing to defy police instruction, paralyze the political centre of the country, and force the Budget Day spotlight onto a crisis London had tried to contain. A tractor in Westminster isn't just a vehicle, it's a warning. A sign that the anger no longer stays in the countryside, it's driving straight into the capital. The tractors didn't come to London for noise. They came for survival. At the centre of this uprising is a single policy, a 20% inheritance tax on farms and agricultural businesses worth more than £1 million. A threshold that almost every working farm in Britain crosses. Not because farmers are rich, but because farmland is expensive. David Gunn, one of the farmers leading the protest, put it plainly: "It will cripple us." He explained what most people in London never see, that farmers earn far less than the value of the land they work on. With supermarkets squeezing prices and costs soaring, the margins are already razor-thin. If the owner dies, he said, the family may have to sell the farm just to pay the tax. And with the land goes the business. With the business goes the jobs. And with the jobs goes the future of entire rural communities. Young workers like one 8-year-old Tyler Carter see the danger clearly. "If the farm is gone," he said, "I lose my job too. We don't deserve to have it taken off us." This isn't a theoretical tax debate. It's a countdown. A pressure point that could force generational farms to be broken apart, auctioned off, or absorbed by corporations that can afford the hit. A policy meant for wealth, landing on the people who feed the country. And that's why the tractors came. Not to protest a number, but to defend their homes. If the tractors were the shock, the anger was the message. Standing in front of Parliament, a young farmer just 18 years old held up a handwritten sign. "Dear London, I'm here to fight for my future." He wasn't shouting. He wasn't posturing. He was shaking. Not from fear, from frustration. When journalists asked what he wanted to say to the Chancellor, his answer cut through the crowd like a blade. "How dare you?" 2 words. 2 generations colliding. A teenager fighting a tax written by people who will never drive a tractor, never plow a field, never understand what it means to lose a farm that has survived 3 or 4 lifetimes. Nearby, another protester arrived, dressed as Farmer Christmas, a towering green Christmas tree strapped to his tractor, a naughty list pinned to the front with ministers' names written in thick black marker. It was theatrical, but the message was dead serious. Then came farmer and NFU member Mark Wattler. His words were calm, but heavier than any chant. It's not the money, it's passion. We just want a fair deal. And that's the truth politicians keep missing. This protest wasn't driven by wealth. It wasn't driven by ideology. It was driven by dignity, by farmers who are sick of being overlooked, undervalued, and pushed to the financial edge while feeding 67 million people. A crowd like that doesn't gather because of a tax. It gathers because something deeper has broken. The tractors were loud, but the crowd was louder. By mid-morning, more than 500 farmers filled the streets around Downing Street, a mass of high-vis jackets, placards, and folded arms staring down the seat of British power. Police officers positioned themselves along Whitehall, issuing warnings under the Public Order Act, reminding protesters that vehicles could be seized and drivers arrested. It didn't matter. Farmers held their line. Around 20 tractors were stopped by police before reaching Parliament. But even blocked at the edge of the exclusion zone, their engines became part of the protest, a deep mechanical growl echoing off government buildings. Then something happened that said more than any speech. As Rachel Reeves appeared briefly in the area, the crowd erupted a wave of boos rolling across Westminster like a storm front. Not anger at a single politician, but anger at a system that rural Britain believes has abandoned them. Traffic collapsed. Buses rerouted. Pedestrians crowded the pavements as police tried to reopen lanes that simply wouldn't move. Budget day, the moment the government hoped to project stability, became a display of vulnerability. Even senior officers privately admitted to reporters that the tractor ban had become an own goal, a miscalculation that turned a small protest into a national spectacle. This wasn't just disruption, it was defiance, a public stress test of law and order, and the system blinked. Beneath the noise of tractors and boos, there is a quieter collapse, the economics of farming itself. For years, farmers have warned that the numbers no longer add up, and now, the cracks are impossible to ignore. David Gunn explained it bluntly. Supermarkets pay farmers far less than the prices shoppers see on shelves. The gap between farm gate price and retail price has widened so much that even good harvests don't guarantee survival anymore. Then there are the costs: fuel, fertilizer, energy, machinery, maintenance. Every one of them rising faster than income. Every one of them turning farming into a losing battle. And on top of that, climate damage, flooded fields, heat waves, failed crops, unpredictable seasons that turn a farmer's entire year into a gamble. As one protester said, "We don't earn enough to live." Those words are not political. They are mathematical. Tough market conditions. That's how the media describes it. But on the ground, it's something far heavier. Families selling livestock just to pay bills. Farmers delaying repairs on machinery they rely on to produce food. Young workers watching a career they believed in become financially impossible. When your costs rise, when your prices fall, when your weather changes, and when your government adds a tax on top of it all, something breaks. The protest in Westminster wasn't the start of that break. It was the moment it became visible. The anger on Budget Day wasn't born overnight. It was built season by season, policy by policy. Farmers say the government made commitments in its manifesto. Commitments to support rural Britain, to protect domestic food production, to reduce unpredictability for agricultural families, to rebuild trust. But on the streets of Westminster, the message was very different. You said you would look after the farmers. The phrase appeared on banners, cardboard signs, even sprayed onto tractor panels. It wasn't a slogan. It was an accusation. Another protester shouted toward the Treasury, "You've ruined the countryside!" Not metaphorically. Literally, policies, taxes, and rising costs have left large parts of rural Britain feeling abandoned, forgotten by a government that relies on their labour but doesn't understand their reality. And this wasn't even the first warning. Farmers also protested in December, a quieter demonstration that didn't paralyze the capital, but carried the same message. Support is collapsing, and frustration is boiling. Now the anger is no longer contained to rural fields or farming unions. It's spilling into London, onto budget day, into the political heart of the country. The feeling of betrayal is thick, not because farmers expected special treatment, but because they expected consistency, a promise kept, a system that doesn't turn on them, a government that listens. When promises break, trust breaks. And once trust breaks, it doesn't return easily. When farmers protest in Westminster, it's not just about money. It's not just about tax. It's about what comes next. Because if farms fall, food falls with them. Across the protest lines, one phrase kept returning. Food security is at risk. Not a slogan, a fact. If inheritance tax forces families to sell land, production drops. If production drops, imports rise. And when a nation becomes dependent on food, it doesn't grow. It becomes vulnerable to forces it cannot control. Prices, trade shocks, global shortages, geopolitical tensions. Weather events thousands of miles away, all of them begin to decide what Britain eats and how much Britain pays to eat it. Climate change makes the risk even sharper. Floods wiping out crops, heat waves burning fields, storms destroying entire seasons of work. Farmers already stand on unstable ground. Policy pressure only weakens it further. And the math is brutal. If enough farmers quit, if enough land is sold, if enough small holdings disappear into insolvency, the UK loses something it cannot easily replace: self-sufficiency. A farm lost is not like a shop closed. You can't reopen a field that's been sold. You can't rebuild a herd that's been slaughtered. You can't revive a rural economy once the young have left and the old can no longer keep it alive. This protest wasn't just the sound of tractors. It was the sound of a warning that if the government pushes any further, the country won't just lose farmers. It will lose the food they produce. The tractors have left Westminster. The roads have reopened. The budget speech is over. But the warning remains: a broken food system, a broken trust, a broken line between the people who feed the country and the leaders who decide how that work is valued. The anger wasn't about power, or politics, or winning a headline. It was about survival. The 20% inheritance tax didn't create this crisis, it revealed it. A decade of rising costs, shrinking margins, unpredictable weather, and promises that never materialized. And now, the consequences stretch far beyond rural fields. When a farm closes, a community weakens. When communities weaken, the country follows. And once a nation loses the ability to feed itself, every other crisis becomes sharper, faster, and far harder to control. This wasn't a protest. It wasn't theater. It wasn't noise. It was a message. If the government ignores this moment, the collapse won't be on the farmers. It will be on all of us,